Throughout this video, we are going to dismantle this computer. It is already working, and after disassembling it, we shall assemble it back to make sure it is functioning. So here we begin by opening the screws. So we have all the screwdrivers we need. We open just like I am doing right now, and then after opening the case, we remove the dust and all the dirt. We clean inside, and we have to remove now the screws. Here we did remove the screws for the hard disk. This is the location for the hard disk drive. And after removing the screws, we can get it out. So this is
Here
the
now
storage
we have the
device of the computer,
CD-ROM drive,
hard disk,
which helps us to read the CD. So we are also going to take it out. So we remove the screw, and then we can disconnect the cable, and then we can push it out from the front side here. So we are removing our computer parts one by one. You can also put the CD-ROM drive aside, the one that helps us to read the CD. So here now is the power supply. So we leave the power supply. We first remove the RAM. So this is the RAM, the random access memory, the one that stores temporary information of the computer as it is being processed. So the information that is being processed. And right now we are removing the CPU fan, the one that helps to cool down the CPU. As we know that every machine, when it operates, it heats up. So when the CPU heats up, we need the heat sink, and on top of the heat sink we have the fan, the CPU fan, that helps to cool the CPU. And here you can see the CPU, it's placed right here. Yes, plus these are the connections of the power supply and other cables all connected here on the motherboard. So we shall first remove these cables one by one to ensure that we can reach and remove the motherboard. So here now we can unplug, as you can see, all these cables, one from the directly for the VGA cable, which is at the back of the system case. So we also remove these, which is the USB cables that is connected right in front here. We have this for audio, especially for those to connect the headsets or earphones. We have this connected right here in front here. Can also disconnect it, and this small one is for the power button that is right in front here. Then we also have this other cable, which is for the speaker. Yes, we have, now we are getting our motherboard getting more exposed as we remove the cables. So this is specifically for the headsets, as I mentioned. And let's remove now the power supply, the one that is in charge of supplying the motherboard. It receives the current from directly from the socket. It supplies the motherboard, and it can give directly to some devices that is in the computer system. So let's remove the power supply. This is how it looks like. Yes. So now we can unscrew the motherboard, and as we unscrew, we remove now the system unit. Sorry, the central processing unit, that is the CPU, the brain of the computer. So for it, we handle it with a lot of care, as it is very delicate and anything should not touch, because it can affect its functioning or its functionality. So we place it in a safe place, then we can first seal back as we continue with disassembling our computer, as we continue to unscrew the motherboard to ensure that all the screws are removed. and we remove them safely without causing any breakage or injury to the motherboard. So we remove the screws gently. Even as we are plugging out the wires or the cables, we make sure we carry them with a lot of care. And as you see, we can clean around to make sure it is clean. And even the system case, we make sure it is very clean enough. As I am going to show you some of the most important parts on the motherboard. We make sure everything is clean and free of dust. This is especially to do with maintenance. To make sure the computer functions very well, we must make sure it is always free of dust and any other contamination that may cause it to dysfunction or to malfunction. So we must make sure we clean all the dirt. It is far away from water, doesn't be touched by water, so it has to be. And we use so this is the expansion, this is the RAM slot, this is where the RAM goes, and this is for SATA cables, the SATA ports. This one is the USB ports, these two, and then we have the LAN port, which is for internet. Then we have audio in, out, and then headsets. We also have here the VGA cable and HDMI ports. That's for connecting the displays. For example, this monitor here, or we can also connect. That's for BIOS, the CMOS battery, which is for ensuring that the time. Now the other one, the white one, is for the power supply, where we connect the power from power supply to power the motherboard. So basically that's for the few parts that we can look at. As you can see, the motherboard also comprises of many other capacitors or resist transistors that also help to function or to promote or enable the functionality of the whole computer system, as you can see, and many other components and parts. So all of these are joined together and they make a good computer system. So now we are going to put back all our cables so that we make sure we connect them back to their rightful place. We want to make sure our computer goes back to its normal functionality. This is also another port. This is the one I explained at the beginning. It is for the headsets. And we also have some USB provisions for the two parts that I am fixing right now. And then right in front or on top of the case, as you can see, is the memory card reader or the micro SD reader. So the one we can use card reader to insert it on and we can read the memory card. It's also one of the key components that help us to connect the external devices to the computer and enable communication with the computer. As we continue, you're going to see all these other cables. So we are going to put back all the cables right from the motherboard connecting to all these other individual devices like the CD-ROM drive, and then the one also connecting to the speaker, the internal speaker of the computer that we have right here, connecting also back to the hard disk drive, which we are going to see again as I mentioned it before. Then we also have these other cables that connect, especially the SATA cables. Then we have those that connect the CD-ROM drive to the motherboard. Then we have those that connect from the hard disk drive to the motherboard. We have all of them connected back, and here now we put back our power supply. And it also has a fan at the back. This is also to cool the temperatures, as the power supply, the one that brings in power and converts it so that it is distributed by the motherboard. So it also has to be cooled So it has another fan. So we have its own specific fan as well. This also help to cool the power supply so that it doesn't heat up, and when it overheats, we can have issues with our computer. So now we are screwing back to make sure we fix each and every item to its original position so that it can function well. We put back all our cables, as you can see. We put back now our CD-ROM drive, put it back as well. And after that, we can continue. And then now, this is our hard disk drive. Its capacity is 500 GB. This is the storage. It offers permanent storage for our processed data or even information. We can keep it here. So this is the storage for the computer. Whereas the RAM is for temporary information, this ROM hard disk provides us with a capacity to store our information, especially the processed data that has been manipulated. So we can keep it there and we store until we meet the maximum storage. That's when we are required either to install another one, or we can simply delete some of the excess or the unwanted information to create space so that we can continue using our computer in a normal way. So we connect back all our cables, all the computer cables, that is from the hard disk, from the power supply, and we make sure all of them go back to their right position so that they are able to function normally. We continue to identify each and every cable and where it is supposed to go and where it is supposed to be. Right now, making sure every cable goes to its rightful position. This is to ensure proper functionality, as if it is not connected to its right position, it will not function well. So now we put back the RAM, which is the random access memory, which helps us to keep the information for a short time as the computer runs, as it is processing. So here now we have the heat sink and the CPU fan. We also fix it back right on top of the CPU to be cooling it. And also we have to connect its cable to the motherboard, as we can see. After that, we can now proceed and put back our casing. So we also put it back to order after cleaning our system unit. Now we have to put back everything in order so that we can put back our computer. You've seen how dusty it was. Now we have cleaned. We put back all the components and we make sure we screw it very well to make sure it is firm and it is not going to be shaky or any other component falling off from our computer. So we make sure each and everything is intact. We screw it very well to ensure that it is fitted in very well. So now we have fitted back, we have screwed back our system unit. We can now connect the cables, we power it, and we connect all other devices. We connect the monitor, we connect the keyboard, we connect the mouse, and then we make sure our power source, there is power supply. There we can now rest assured that we have put back our computer and we sit down to test our system. Having cleaned, having worked on it, how does it function now? We have maintained, we have cleaned, we have probably, if there was any issue, maybe we are replacing a component inside or we are repairing some of the components inside. So now we test and see if it is functioning as we intend it. So here now the computer is loading the files, opening. Here we are. Now we can sign in. After signing in, you can open here a PowerPoint presentation. So when we open You can see that our computer now is functioning normally. Otherwise, if it was not connected well, we would have issues with it. But it is functioning normally, which means our connection and maintenance has been successful. Yes, so here you can test also the keyboard. As we have been testing, the mouse is working. Now we can type here University of Chisubi as our test. Thank you for watching.